Well, hello, everybody. It's Christine here with Create Your Best Life. And I want to talk to you today about 5 simple tips on how to leverage your time and improve your life. I'm using this new system here, and so I'm trying to figure this out. I don't think I've done it. I don't see where anybody is on here, but oh my gosh. Yeah, this is fun. So I wanted to share with these tips with you. I'm a speaker, a coach, an author, and I've worked in the personal development world for over 25 years, most recently with Disney and culture and leadership, and have been a leadership consultant. Also got certified as a life coach years ago, and I just am passionate about people and why we do what we do. And several years ago, I was maxed out. I was negative bandwidth, working all the time. Kids had sports. Just really feeling I had no, I had no life. Like my time, I just felt like time was just running behind I was always running behind. And so I immersed myself in really learning a lot about time management. Here's some of the things that I've read: getting things done. Talk about, I did so many notes and things like that. Um, Time management magic, getting to the best yes, 12, the 15 secrets successful people know about time management. And, here's what I want to share is there is no holy grail. There is no one perfect way to do things. Basically, I tried to implement specific things like getting things done. There's so many different steps, and it's like for all of us, we have to figure out what works best for us. And so what I've done is I've distilled down some of the things that work for me, and I want to share them with you, because there is a quote, and it says, time equals life. Waste your time, waste your life. Master your time, master your life. And I love that quote because it's so true, right? As we get older, I don't know about you, but it's like every day I wake up, it's Friday again. And right now it's April 13th. When did that happen? When we take charge of our schedule, take charge of our life and our time, then we can feel in control. We can feel intentional. One of the songs that really resonates with me is Kenny Chesney has a song, 100 Years Goes Faster Than You Think. Have you ever heard that song? It is about the 100-year-old man and how, one day, he's in school, then he gets married, and then his kids, his grandkids, and here it is 100 years later. And that just really resonates with me. And I bet it resonates with you too. Uh, this whole idea of time and age and getting older. I was in Cracker Barrel, and there was a card, and it said, the older I get, the older old gets. And it's so true, right? When you think about where you are in your life and how old you are, and what you thought about that age when you were younger, it's really it resonates. So I want to share with you these 5 tips. And the first tip is about, all the things that you have going on, and it's all swirling around your head. It's taking up head space. When you have all this mind clutter, it's a form of stress. So the first thing I want you to do is to do a brain dump. And that is to get out on either on a piece of paper, on in your phone, in your notes, however you do it. Although I would recommend writing it. There is something in our brains when we write things out. There's something that happens for us. So that's a great way to just kind of flush things out, or put them in a Word document. So first thing is to do a complete brain dump, get everything out of your head. And the second thing I want you to do is to prioritize those various things. I want you to go through and you figure out what really matters. So many times there's things that we have on our list. There's a to-do list, that never ending to-do list. We have things on there that we'll just keep putting them on over and over again. I want you to do a really thorough checking of prioritization. What is the most important thing? And within those important things, I want you to make sure that you're including self-care. This is actually what I call a self-discovery wheel. And these are the different categories in your life. And in the center, that's mindset. And so the different categories are, physical health and fitness, physical environment, your environment, your home, your cars, wherever you are, finances, career and work, or, whatever it is that you do, restoration, fun, and hobbies, relationships, with the ones that you love most, your spouse, your significant other, your family, your children. I have spiritual, religion, serving. So, that's a category that's so important, filling your soul and your spiritual life. Personal growth and learning, doing things to try to grow, learn, and be better every day. Mental health, like how are you feeling emotionally? Making sure that we're taking care of ourselves emotionally, and our purpose. And so when you're looking at your to-do list, the brain dump, prioritizing those things, making sure that we're including the things that are the most important. And the whole thing with self-care is about taking care of you, because you can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. I look back, there was a time, like I mentioned, I was maxed out. I was working, having to go to an office, getting home at 6:30 at night, had projects where I'd be up at 4 a.m, trying to just get all this stuff in. And I was so depleted, and it was just, life just sucked. In fact, that's when our family, we actually sold our house, our cars, gave away most of our stuff, bought an RV and traveled America for a year, because I was at that breaking point. On paper, we have everything, but life was not fun. And I'm not suggesting that you do that. And we'd worked and the kids did online school, but it's just really about prioritizing. One of the things that really resonated for me at that time when I was in that situation was I read an article about people in hospice, and they asked them, if you could live your life over again, what would you do differently? And do you want to know what the answer is? It was always about regret. It was about regretting that, they didn't take the trip, that they didn't say they were sorry, that they didn't make their family a priority. Regret about the things they didn't do. So when you're prioritizing your list, I want you to really think about that. Think about when you're on your deathbed. Sorry to be morbid, but it's about getting perspective of what is really important. And so prioritizing everything, and you can use like an A, B, C, D, or a 1, 2, 3, however you want to do it. The third tip is, when you're looking at that prioritization, what are the things that you can delegate, automate, or eliminate? And now, this sounds like, sometimes this can feel daunting, but I want you to think about slowing down to speed up. What I've observed, and I've observed this with myself, is sometimes you get into the rat race mentality where we're on that wheel and we're just going. It's like, I don't have time. However, that is probably the best advice some of the best advice I've ever gotten is slow down to speed up. Step back and look at all of the things that you've got going on, prioritize them, and then determine what are some things you can delegate. I mean, for me, in that season, and I still utilize this, dinner. What's for dinner? I would come home and everybody say, what's for dinner? And I swear I felt hostile. I mean, like, I don't know what's for dinner. Like, have cereal, whatever. I just, like, that for me personally is just not my jam. So I was like, I've got to figure, and plus we would spend a ton of money because we would order out and, go out to eat. And we were just, it was out of control. And it didn't feel good, right? It didn't feel good to me as a mom, like just not having a plan for my family. And my husband's awesome. I mean, but the thing is, his choices for food are always different than mine. And I want to have, healthier choices. And so I found a company called Dream Dinners that's in our town. It's a franchise And there was ladies in our community that run it. So it's like I supporting a local business. And if you go on dreamdinners.com and you look at their menu, every month they have different menus, and it's all interesting food, like French tarragon chicken with green beans, almond green beans, Kentucky barbecue pork tenderloin, and roasted broccoli. Like, it's interesting, good food. And you order it, and it's all whole food. It's they make all the sauces and everything, and then I just pick it up once a month, and it's all in freezer bags, simple instructions. Our kids can make dinner, and that is something that I delegated, right? I mean, I don't delegate every single meal, but that took so much pressure off of me. And something I want to just mention to you, because I had some friends that, they don't work outside the home, but they do. I mean, listen, any of us that running a home, working, all this, we're all busy, especially us women. We do a lot more. It's just the way it is. And I had to, like, oh, I should. Now, this is something, if you're saying this to yourself, oh, I should make dinner. I should clean the house. I should stop that. I want to give you permission that you don't have to, if that's not something you enjoy and you can outsource it and you can delegate it, do it. Bring joy to yourself. The other thing is, from a cost standpoint, getting our meals like that, we save so much more money from a budgeting standpoint. It's like $6 to $7 a person for our meals versus, getting takeout, and we're spending $75 for 4 of us. So things like that. I also have cleaning people come every couple weeks. Now, I keep my house clean. I still go to the grocery store and buy food, but these were major things that I wanted to delegate. So those are just a couple of examples. Now, automate. With automation, and I don't know, I guess I'm on this food thing, but automating your grocery list, you can do that with Kroger, Publix, they can deliver it. And then in the business world, something that's really helped me a lot automating is I have a calendar scheduling tool that I use. And if there's, I have a lot of meetings and things like that. And now I've got different calendars and I've got them blocked out for different things, where I am being intentional about how my time is being utilized. And I don't go back and forth with people trying to figure out when we can have a meeting. So a Calendly scheduling tool, Calendly is the one that I use. It has saved me so much time. And then the third one is eliminate. What is the stuff on your list that you just need to decide to not do it? I know at Christmas a couple years ago, I had so much pressure. All of us have so much pressure of all the things we got to do. And I decided I wasn't going to send Christmas cards. I decided that early on. It was so liberating. And it took this big weight off my shoulders. And so another one that's going to sound really silly, and you're going to, I don't know, don't judge me, but I used to iron my pillowcases and my flat sheet for my bed. I know, it's ridiculous. I don't do that anymore, and nothing major has changed in the quality of my life. So think about what you can delegate, what you can automate, and what you can eliminate. Now, once you do that, you've got your list, you've done those components. Now the thing is, look at what you've got and put it on your calendar. Literally put it on your calendar. I'm going to share my screen here and show you, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So this is, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very good, but what I do is I will plan things out and block out time on my calendar. And if you'll notice, I have gotten things a color-coded way to do it as well. So I've got 4 different categories for color coding. At one point I had a whole ton of categories, but it was too much. It's like my word for this year is simplify. So I'm trying to simplify life and simplify systems. So yellow is personal time, God time, refresh. So it's like anything that I'm doing, like, running, exercising. On Fridays, I try to go to the chiropractor, do those things. The calendar that you've got up there doesn't have my weekends in there. And the weekends are, I serve at church on Sunday, and we volunteer doing things. And then we do a lot of family stuff, fun stuff. So Purple is actually family time, hanging out, errands, appointments. So that's the purple. And then blue is business support activities. So these are anything in my business that are supporting, what I need to do in my business. And then green is revenue generating activities. And then I've also tried to bucket the days to like theme days. So Mondays, they're about content creation. Tuesdays, they're about prospecting. Wednesdays, I try to do, that's when I do podcast interviews and radio interviews, things like that. Networking, learning, consumption, that's on Thursdays because I get so much stuff. I think, all these webinars and different things. I try to just use Thursdays for that, and also connecting with various business people that I know, and just doing more networking at that time. And then Friday, I try to really leave Fridays for self-care. I go on a hike and I do my God time with some other women and go to the chiropractor and just try to do things to fuel my soul. And so those are some things that have been really helpful for me. And another thing to keep in mind, a lot of times when you pay attention to your energy and you pay attention to what, like, have you ever done something and it's like it's exhausting, you can't stand doing it? Those are the things, like if it's something you can't delegate, then you want to put it at your highest energy time of day. For me, it's in the morning. And the other thing is bucketing your time in like 45-minute increments. For me, and it may be different for you, but 45 minutes, after 45 minutes, I can't stay focused. So that's when I try to schedule to take a break. Now, there is something called Parkinson's Law. Have you ever heard of that? Parkinson's Law is basically that, I'm going to just show you the actual definition. It's the notion that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Have you ever gone on vacation and maybe at your office and you've got 50 things that you've been hanging over your head, and somehow miraculously you get them done right before you go on vacation? Or at home, you've got all these projects and you keep saying, I'm going to do that. We're doing this on Saturday or whatever. Plan a party, right? When you plan a party, all of a sudden you get things done that have been lingering around for months, maybe years. And so Parkinson's Law is about having that finite time to complete something, because you will complete it and you can complete it within that window of time. And so blocking off time when you've got some task that you need to do. Let's see. Now, once you take that list, prioritize, delegate, eliminate, automate, and you identify the things that are going to be like what you've got to get done, the next thing I want you to do is just go ahead and put them on your, like I said, put them on your calendar, and then take that to-do list and throw it in the garbage. And, I have this tool. It's called it's a time mapping tool. It's a free tool that I would love to share with you. And it's kind of like, when awareness is the key to so many things, to changes in our lives. In order to make changes in our lives, first thing is we have to have awareness. In fact, in the leadership world, they talk about one of the number one characteristics for success is having self-awareness. Like when you start trying to maybe improve your diet, you start doing a food log. So you start noticing what you're eating. It's the same thing for time. So I have a free time mapping tool that I would love for you to utilize. And really, it's not like something you have to use forever, but it's a great tool to raise awareness to how you're spending your time. And I would say use it for maybe 7 to 10 days, and you'll start seeing patterns of how you spend your time. So if you are interested in that, then drop me a note in the comments or DM me or go to my website and schedule a call with me. And now tip number 5. Tip number 5 is about just morning ritual. It's about starting your day with quiet time, making sure you're hydrated, getting some exercise. And it doesn't mean you have to go do a boot camp necessarily, or maybe if that's your jam, but it's about starting your day intentionally. And so one of the things I want to share, get your phone out of there. Do not have your phone. Don't look at your phone. In fact, take all the notifications. I shut off all the notifications on my social media, my email, everything. And then on my phone, I moved all my social media apps off of the homepage. And that's a way to set up a system for you to have success, to stay focused. Our brains, when you first get up in the morning, your brain, that is when your brain is the most, for lack of a better word, like the most pure. And that's the time that we can get centered. We can do some journaling what you're grateful for. I mean, everybody talks about that. And there is actual neuroscience studies that talk about when we focus on what we're grateful for, the dopamine and the different chemicals in our bodies that it produces is amazing. And so starting your day with quiet time, journaling, getting hydrated, getting some exercise, take a walk outside, and set the intentions for your day. And I promise you, your day, you will be on fire. So those are the 5 tips. I hope I've tried to distill this down. You know, my daughter and I were talking this morning on our way to school, and we were just talking about trying to simplify. You know, I mentioned that this year my word is simplify. And I don't know if you're the same way, but I don't think of myself as a perfectionist. However, I will, I feel like I've learned about myself. I will make things bigger than they really need to be. So trying to distill down, all of this content that I've read and, all of these things, I was really overwhelmed, and I was finding myself giving you too much information. And so I hope that this has distilled down the 5 things that you can do. And something else I wanted to share with you. I've got my notes here. I want to make sure that I see even this. Look at, that's a lot of stuff, right? I want to make sure that I touch on some of these things. There's something else about time. I was listening to this book called The Big Leap, and he talks about the Einstein's law of relativity, and it all is related to time. And the definition of the law of relativity is it's a theory formulated by Albert Einstein that the notion, oh wait, that's the wrong thing. Hold on. Newton's law of relativity. Motion at speeds approaching the speed of light must be described. I'm looking at my other screen over here. By the theory of relativity. That's all the equations and everything. General relativity is a theory of space and time. The theory was published by Albert Einstein in 1915. The central idea is general relativity is that space and time are 2 aspects of space-time. Space-time is curved when there is matter, energy, and momentum, resulting in what we perceive as gravity. And ultimately, I mean, it's really complex, but what it's saying is that our time is relative to our perception. I don't know if you've ever had this happen where it's like time seems to stop. It's like I've had this happen numerous times, like being at the airport, and I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am going to miss this plane. I've only got 15 minutes to get to the gate. And then I decide that I'm not going to look at my watch again. And I'm just going to go, and I'm going to just, if I get there, I get there. If I don't, I don't. And there's been so many times that I get there and I got there in time, and I'm going, that is weird. Like, how did I get here? It doesn't seem like there was enough time. It took longer, but, and I might sound, you might think I'm crazy, but I wonder if that's happened to you, where time just stands still and you're doing all these things and you accomplish all this stuff and you think, how did that happen? I guarantee it's about the law of relativity. So go check it out. Einstein's law of relativity. It's pretty intense reading all this stuff, all the physics behind it, and the math stuff. That's not my jam. But this is really important to manage your time, to be proactive, to be intentional. And the great thing is that you have control. When I was in really crazy state that I mentioned, I would say, I was always saying that I'm busy. People say to me, "How you doing, Christine?" "Oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I'm so busy." And I don't know, like it made me feel so bad to always say that. And then I had a friend who said to me, when people say they're busy, it just means they're a victim of themselves. Because if you're too busy, then you've got control of your life. So that just hit me. And I was like, you're right. I do have control of my life. I do have control over what I do with my time. And that's, I've just immersed myself in all of these ideas. And I came up with this mantra, and I decided I was going to take that word out of my vocabulary. And I came up with a mantra. And what I say to myself all the time is, I am present and my life runs at the perfect pace. I am present and my life runs at the perfect pace. And it just makes me feel better when I say that. And it helps to center me. And so I welcome you to try that mantra on for yourself, or come up with one, share with me what kind of mantra you may have. And let me know your thoughts. I am on StreamYard, which is this tool to go live on these different applications. And I don't even know for sure if I'm on live. It says, but I don't see Facebook. So if you've been commenting, I am so sorry, because I guess I did a training on this on Sunday, and but I didn't get to go live. So I don't know. I've never done it before. But you know what? Hey, feel the fear and do it anyway. I was scared to death to do this. And here I am. Hopefully I've added some value for your life. Please go check me out. I'm a life success coach. I'm in the process. I've got a program coming out in May, and it's a holistic view of our lives. It integrates life coaching, leadership, culture, holistic approach, personally and professionally. And time management is a component. And if you would like to schedule a time to talk to me, if whatever you've got going on, go to my website, christinemroberts.com. And let me know if there's anything I can do to serve you. Take care, and I'll see you next week.